Morning, everyone. Welcome to LifeStretch. I hope you guys are doing well and are still healthy and keeping busy. So we're gonna start with our testing of whichever movement that we want to do or movement that we want to improve, and that's going to be our test, um, our kind of gauge to see how we are doing with our stretching. So it could be anything you want. Um, for me, I like my deep squat and turning my head just because I want to see how far I can do a shoulder check. Very important. It could be reaching the arms up to see how far you're going. It could be anything that you wish. So we'll give you some time to do it. And as I'm letting you do your test, I just want to mention that later on when we do the hamstring, sometimes it's easier if we have a strap or a towel or something that can help us hold on to the leg. So make sure you grab that whenever uh, for later on. So let's get started. So let's do a little bit of marching just so that we can land our feet in a comfortable position, maybe taking a quick look. And then from here, let's bring our weight forward onto our toes, leaning as far forward as we feel comfortable and taking the time to notice the tension in our body. Where do we feel the tension? And then we'll come back and we'll lean back on our heels and noticing where the tension is now. Where do we feel it? And from here, we're going to kind of rock slowly forward and back on our feet and notice where we find that the tension or the lack of tension on either side of the body. And taking the time to notice where that place is. And then we're going to shift the weight side to side. So more on one foot, noticing where the tension is in our body. For me, it's on the outside of my leg and a little bit in the inner thigh. And I'm going to go to the other side, noticing where the tension has moved. And then going from side to side until we feel that either the tension is even on both sides or that there's no tension at all. So the weight should be kind of even on both legs. Doing a little bit of bending and extending at the knees. And let's bend the knees and notice where there's tension in the body. Let's lengthen the legs and let's try to extend the leg as much as possible to notice where the tension is. And then let's move into flexion and extension until we feel that there is no tension either forward or back. Good. Making sure that we are still even on our feet and with the hands on the hips. Let's find the front, the hip. Let's see if we can reach the back. And then from here, let's tuck the tailbone under, noticing where there's tension, where we feel maybe a pull. And then we're going to come back and then we're going to tip the other way. So hips forward or tailbone back, noticing what's happening, where there's tension. And now we're going to go in both direction until we feel that there's no tension either forward or back. Making sure the knees are staying in that happy medium where there's no tension front or back. And then from here, let's bring our shoulders forward. So rounding the shoulders forward. Let's pull our shoulders back, noticing how the arms are turning, noticing where the tension is. And then moving slowly to notice And each time creating less and less tension until we feel that either the tension is even on both sides or there's no tension. Doing the same thing with the head. So we're gonna push our head forward and then we're gonna pull the head back. And each time moving slow so that we can feel where the tension is and then making that tension less and less until it feels even or no tension at all. Let's lengthen from the crown of our head, lengthening and remembering that rising our shoulders doesn't make the spine any longer. So let's just rise or feel like our head is an helium balloon and it's being pulled up. And then holding here, noticing that length, that pressure down to the floor, but also that rise in our upper body. Beautiful. And holding here, let's bring our hands onto our lower belly. So if you feel your belly button, bring your hands just below the belly. And then inhaling, just normally, let's try not to change it. Just how the breath is natural. And then let's see if we can create the sensation of inflating our lungs like a balloon and then letting the pelvic floor go and letting the belly push into the hand and exhaling, noticing how the pelvic floor is engaging again and the belly comes in. And again, inhaling, feeling the belly press into the hands and then bring it back down. And also taking the time to slow it down, to slow our breath. If we are able to, let's see if we can breathe in and out through the nose. Now let's see if we can get that balloon not only to inflate forward, but also to inflate to the back. So maybe putting a hand on the lower back, just a little bit higher, the back of the ribs. And then inhaling, letting the belly rise, but can we feel some pressure on the hand that's on the back of the ribs? And then exhaling, feeling everything coming back in. Now, it may be just our imagination. We may just think that the rib cage is pressing, the back of the rib cage is pressing into the hand, and that's okay. So eventually the brain is going to go, okay, well, or the body is going to go, this is what the brain is saying. Maybe we should just do it. Let's do that one more time. Beautiful. So now let's see if we can increase or expand our balloon out to the side. So with the hands just at the base of the ribs, just so that we are in a comfortable position. So if it needs to be a little bit lower and just put the thumb on the side of the ribs, that's fine. Whichever works for you right now. And then from here, inhaling, letting the belly go forward, but really thinking about the ribs pressing into the hands. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose. Letting the belly rise, letting the rib cage expand out to the side and back. Beautiful. Let's do that one more time. Nice. Now let's bring our hand back on our belly and we're going to put one hand on the chest. And now we're going to try to get the balloon to expand also at the top. So not just at the belly, but can we make that breath come all the way up? cage to expand. Forward, side, back. Let's do that one more time. And release. Take the time, if you feel comfortable with that, to close your eyes and notice what the breath did. Do we feel a little bit more relaxed? Are we a little bit more comfortable? Do we feel some more expansion in our rib cage? Good. So now let's start looking at our lines. So let's start with the frontal line or the front line. So we're going to drop the chin, let the shoulders round forward, creating some slack in the front of the body. And then we're going to slowly, as we are exhaling, reaching up, looking up, using our eyes also, maybe letting the hips move forward, and then circling the arms, and then coming back to the front. Now feel free to move at your own pace. Maybe you want to go a little bit faster. Maybe you want to go a little bit slower. Maybe reaching here one side and then the other. Letting the hips move forward a little bit. Breathing, exhaling as we're reaching. Inhaling as we're switching side. Exhaling on that reach. And then let's circle our way to the front. And then stacking ourselves back. Beautiful. Let's put one foot behind. So let's make sure that our feet are like on a train track, just to create a little bit more stability. If the feet are too close, one behind the other, it's a little bit less stable. So from here, again, giving some slack and then reaching up, pressing into the front foot, letting the hips move forward, and then reaching and reaching. Let's do that one more time. Good. And then let's come back into a different direction. So we're going to circle ourselves forward and then coming back to the front. And let's switch sides. And again, making sure we are in this nice stable position. And again, giving it some slack. And then reaching up, letting the hips moving forward, reaching one side a little bit more, and then the other. Inhaling on the switch, exhaling on the reach. One more time. And circling back. Beautiful. And then coming back up. Let's do our side line, lateral line. And then from here, we're just going to shift the weight or the hips to one side. Bring them back. Exhaling. Let's add the upper body a little bit. And then coming back to center. And then to the other side. Using gravity here to help us. Let's add, maybe supporting a little bit. Good. And then circling ourselves to the front. And then stacking other side, supporting over the hand, reaching the arm up. And then circling forward and back. Let's do that again. Leaning to one side, reaching up. Maybe we want to rotate and look up, looking down a little bit. Maybe we want to add the other arm if that feels good. If you end up feeling like you're holding your breath, it's because you're going a little bit too deep into that stretch. So just need to ease off a little bit. And the other side. And again, reaching, looking up, looking down, maybe taking the arm up. If you feel like you're struggling to breathe, you're going too far. And then coming back, circling ourselves up. And beautiful. Let's go with the back line. So finding a nice standing position with the knees slightly bent. And then from here, bending or rounding forward. And maybe wiggling ourselves down, bending the knees as much as we need to. Hold it here. Imagining our sitting bones. I'm just going to turn a little bit so you can see it. Imagining the sitting bones pulling down to come back. Good. And again, a little bit of an extension to create some slack. Exhaling, rolling down, holding it here. And on this one, we're gonna kind of weave our way back up. That's it, one last time. Arching a little bit to create some slack. And rounding, weaving ourselves down and holding here. Let's go more towards the lower part of the back line and coming here, alternating one heel into the floor at a time. Maybe the knees are staying bent. Maybe we need to move forward a little bit. That's okay. Maybe we need to go onto our elbows, and that's okay. Giving it a little bit of a swing. We get a little bit of a swing. Side to side. Bending the knee, one knee. And on the exhale, bending the other knee. Let's do that one more time. And let's bring our knees down. Let's sit back on our heels, giving our upper back a little bit more of a stretch. And from here, let's drop the hips to one side. Inhaling, coming back and lifting the hips, and exhaling, sitting back on the other hip. Inhaling, moving forward and up. Exhaling, sitting back. So you can stay here or you can move your hands forward and letting the hips drop a little bit more. And coming back, other side. Getting the upper body involved, getting the head and the eyes involved. Let's do that again. Remember, you can keep your hips back. And let's come back to center. Let's keep our belly engaged a little bit so that we can protect back, but we're going to engage the glutes. And we're going to drop the hips, lifting the chest to open the front of the hips. And circling the hips back. And again, moving forward, opening the front. And circling back. Very nice. And let's come into a seated position. So let's keep going with the hips. So we're going to do a little bit differently today. Is we're going to do tight, loose, and then tight again. So in order to do that, let's do a quick test. So bring one knee forward, the other leg is out to the side. So it's a 90-90 position. So find a place where you're sitting kind of comfortably. If you need to elevate the hips, you can do that too. And all we're going to do is take our time, move forward, and notice where we feel the beginning of the stretch. And then let's come back up and we're going to go to the other side right away. So fine. And right away you may feel that now it's a little bit tighter or a little bit looser than the other side. So that's something to remember. Find a nice straight back and then start leaning forward and whoops, you'll find your tighter place. So for me, this is my tighter side. So I'm going to start in this position. But before we do that, let's bring our feet forward. Oops, I'm going to turn this way. So the hands are back in a comfortable position. The legs are forward and the feet are apart, wider than the hips, so that when you drop the knees, they won't fall against one another. And then bring it back. Exhale. Just let them fall. No need to curl down on them. And let's keep that going. So let's go from side to side, exhaling, letting them fall. Inhaling, bring it back, and exhale, letting them fall. So moving at our own pace. So noticing how the breath affects the movement. And let's see if we can avoid tightening our core too much. We may feel a little bit of tightening, but we don't want to engage our core. We want to let ourselves move. Good. So remember which leg was, or which side was the tighter side, and let's go to that side. So for me, that was the side, so this is where I'm going to go. It doesn't matter which side you start on, but we're going to do tighter side, looser side, and then we're going to go back to the tighter side. And if you feel that they're pretty even, then you can just do one time on each side and then stay there. So from here, let's find our knee. Maybe for us, it needs to be a little bit more to the outside, and that's okay. From here, finding our front knee, inhaling, lengthening the spine, and then exhaling, lowering our chest. Once we feel the beginning of the stretch, rounding the back to come back up. Exhaling, reaching nice and tall, leaning forward. Inhaling, rounding the back, coming up. Exhaling, reach nice and tall. Keep reaching as you're folding and then rounding forward. Keeping that going. Taking the time to notice. So very important because we don't want to go past our range. So we don't want to force it. And on the next one, we're going to hold. So if you feel comfortable going down to your elbows, you can go there or staying up a little bit more. And then from here, we're going to go and look over one shoulder. Inhaling, switching, exhaling, looking over the other shoulder. And again, reaching, looking over, and looking to the other side. And again. That's it. Good. And then coming back to center. So I'm going to go on to my elbow. Doesn't matter how far back you are, as long as you start feeling an opening in the front of the hip. So I have to move back a little bit, but you stay wherever you feel that you need to. And then from here, we're going to bring the arm up and reach, and the hip is going to move forward. We're going to create a little bit of a back bend. Look at your hand, and then coming back here. Good. And again, reach. Bring the hip forward. Reach for the ceiling. Reach for the back wall. And creating a little bit of a back bend. And then coming back. And again, reach, 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 reach. And back bend. Beautiful. And then from here, let's come on up. Let's go a little bit further back. We're going to round forward and reach back and reach forward at an angle and open to the ceiling and forward and ceiling and forward, and let's walk ourselves back to the front and come on up. Beautiful. Let's go to the other side. So taking the other leg forward, going into that 90-90 position and putting the leg wherever it feels more comfortable. Maybe we need to be here. Maybe we can go straight on top of our knee, whichever works for us. And then again, taking a deep breath in. On the exhale, lengthen the spine. So we're going at an angle, and then we'll bring our chest down. Rounding the back and coming back up. Reaching nice and long on the exhale, going forward and rounding back. And again, taking our time. There's no rush. And rounding. One more time. Forward and round. On the next one, let's stay down. So reach and staying down. Maybe the elbows can come down. Maybe we need to stay a little bit higher. And let's look behind one shoulder and over the other one. Inhaling as we are switching, exhaling as we are looking over. And again. And one more time. And coming back. And on the next one, let's find our way back. We're going to find a place where we can easily open the front of the hip without creating any tension. Let's bring the arm up, reach, creating a little bit of a back bend, and circling back. And reach, creating a little bit of a back bend. And back. One more time. Reach. And back. Maybe now you can move back a little bit. You can adjust any way you want. And reach. Let's open to the ceiling. Rounding. Looking down. And opening. And down. Circling ourselves back. All the way forward. And rounding. Good. So let's go back to our first side. And what we're doing here is we're doing a 2-to-1 ratio so that the tighter side can catch up to the looser side. So going back to our tighter side. Let's lengthen the back and fold on the exhale. Inhaling, coming back. So here, if you feel that you're not making any progress, that probably means that you've reached your max for today. That's okay. Let's keep going with it. And if you are already even, then you want to keep that evenness. So you don't want to do one side more than the other. Let's do one more so we can stay down. So we're reaching nice long spine and fold. Maybe bring the elbows down and then rocking, looking towards one shoulder and looking over the other. And again, taking our time. There's no rush. Following our breath. Keeping that going. That's it. And you may notice here that you can move your hands a little bit. So going a little bit more towards the back. Good. So next time we are to the back, we're going to stay here. Finding nice opening in the front of the hip. Reach the arm up and pressing the hip back, creating a little bit of a back bend. Reach, and circle back. And again, reaching up, reaching over, letting the hip move forward. Use your eyes and circle back. And again, lift. Keep looking. Make sure you're nice and strong into your supporting shoulder. So you don't want to have your shoulder to your ear. And next time we are here, let's look down. Let's look up and look down and bring ourselves back to the front and coming up. Let's bring our feet back to the front. Let's drop one knee, bring it back, other knee. So notice if there's any change. Maybe we feel a little bit looser. Maybe one side is still tighter than the other. And that's okay. Just make sure you let go of your core so that you can move a little bit easier. Good. And nice. And release. Beautiful. So we're going to go with the upper back now. So holding on to our legs and then rolling back a little bit. Feeling a nice pull in the back of the shoulders and circling our way back up. And again, lengthen the back on the inhale and exhale, rounding the back. And then circling our way forwards. And again, inhaling, opening, exhaling, rounding. So here I'm using my hands, just my hands on the thighs. And coming up, inhaling, and exhaling, coming down. Noticing if you can go a little bit further. Maybe use the chin. So keeping it in neutral. Dropping the chin. Noticing what's happening in the upper back as you change it. And again, and let's go all the way down onto the floor. And then from here, let's bring the knees into the chest. And then we're going to rock gently side to side. And from here, let's scissor the legs a little bit. as we are rocking side to side, noticing what difference it makes. Kind of massaging our lower back. Good. Coming back to center. Now using the hands, not the legs. We're just going to move our legs forward and back. Kind of getting the hamstring to start. So pulling, feeling a little bit of a stretch in the back of the leg. And then going to the other side. One more time. Good. Bring the feet down and let's roll onto our side. So from here, you can have, let's bring our knees, stacking the knees, and then from here, let's roll back a little bit, and then coming back up. And again, so rocking back, and back up. So it's not a very big rocking, right? And then coming back. So now we can extend the bottom leg if we want, and we're going to take our top leg and we're going to bring the foot flat. So this is where if you need a band or something to wrap around your foot so that you can keep it from sliding down. So I'm going to hold it with my hand and then I'm going to rock back. So I'm using my hand to stabilize, and then I'm going to pull the hip away and then coming back. And again, pulling away and then coming back. Let's do that a couple more times. Inhaling, coming back, exhaling, bringing the hip down. And then coming back to center. Let's take that knee into our chest, maybe taking both hands and reaching nose to knee. And then releasing. Let's cross that top leg or the top ankle on top of the knee. And we're going to lengthen the bottom leg and we're just going to let that knee rest. So inhaling, letting it lift a little bit. Exhaling, letting it fall. Inhaling, lifting. Exhaling, letting it fall. Let's do that one more time. Letting the knee lift and letting it fall. Beautiful. Let's take that knee into our chest. So here you can bend the bottom knee if you want, or you can keep it long. So we're going to take the knee into our chest and then we're just going to circle the knee. So we're using the arms to do that circle. So if you need the band here around your thigh, you can do that. Maybe you want to put it around your foot if your knee doesn't bend enough, and that's okay. And let's come right into the chest. So you should already feel a little bit of a pull, nice and high in the back of the leg. And then we're going to kind of swing our leg up and do a little bit of a point and flex. Circle the leg and let it fall. And again. So maybe the leg can go a little bit straighter, a little bit of circling, both direction, point and flex, and then let it fall. So here, if you want to put the towel or the band around your foot, and we're going to lengthen the leg as tall, as long as we can. And on the inhale, we're going to bend the knee, and on the exhale, let's extend the leg. Inhaling, bending the knee. Exhaling, lengthening the leg. And then from here, just going to let it fall. So now we're going to go to the outside of the shoulder. So let's bring the knee around, pushing it away, and then bringing it right against or towards or right onto the outside of the shoulder. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to swing our leg all the way up. And then we're going to do a few point and flex and letting it fall. And taking the time to observe what's happening in the back of our leg. Are we feeling it any differently? Let's do that one more time. And point and flex and release. So if you want to put the towel or the band around the foot, we're going to bring our leg out as straight as we can. A few point and flex, reaching through the toes, reaching through the heel, let it fall, and round it away and back to center. So now we're going to take the knee, we're going to bring it more towards our opposite shoulder. And it's okay if the hip lifts a little bit. So we just want to feel a little bit of stretch. And then from here, swing the leg up and then pointing and flexing. I'm still keeping my thigh nice and close to my chest. And I'm okay if my knee is bent. Circle the foot and let it fall. And again, swing the leg up, reach and point and flex. And let it fall. Beautiful. And again, now we're going to make sure that we can extend the leg as high, long as we can. So if we need a band around our foot, lengthen the leg as long as it's going to go. You point and flex and let it fall, circling it away. And then from here, now take that top leg and then roll over onto our side. So here we can stack the knees or we can corkscrew our legs. It's our choice. And from here, if we need something for our head to be more comfortable, we can do that or take the arm. And then from here, we're just going to reach. And then on the exhale, let's roll onto our back, reaching as far as we can. And then circle the hand or the arm towards the hip. And coming back up. Let's do that full circle. Keep dragging the fingertips. Notice how at one point there's going to be a little bit of a sticky point. So take the time to hold there. And finish the circle at your own pace. And once the arm is back to the front, we're going to do the circle in the other direction. So we're going to reach and pull. And let's see if we can drag our fingers along the floor. Now the sticky point may not be at the same place, so take the time to hold there. Keep that reach. Keep that reach. And circle all the way back to the front and then stack. Beautiful. And then from here, let's make our way onto the other side. Starting on our back. And again, bring both knees into the chest. And let's bring our knees to the side. So keeping both knees stacked, letting ourselves rock back. And then inhaling, coming back. Exhaling, rocking back. Let's do that a few more times. Now, if you need to lengthen the bottom leg, that's okay. Let's do that one more time. And then coming back. Good. So bring that foot flat. Remember, if you need something to hold it, that's okay. And inhaling forward, exhaling, trying to roll onto our back, but anchoring ourselves with the foot. And then inhaling back, exhaling, pulling, letting the hips move, trying to bring ourselves flat on our back. And again, one more time. And pull. Beautiful. Let's come back. And now we're going to roll all the way onto our back, keeping the ankle cross, letting the knee fall. Inhaling, taking the knee up, exhaling, letting it fall. Let's do that a few more times. Inhaling up, exhaling, letting it fall. Inhaling up, exhaling, and letting it fall. Beautiful. Let's come back up. Let's bend both knees. Take both knees into the chest. And let's go for the hamstring. So pulling the knee into the chest. Circle or swing the foot up. Let's hold it here. Point and flex. Let's circle the foot. And let it fall. And again. Swing the legs side to side all the way up. A little bit of pointing and flexing. And let it fall. One more time. It's okay for the leg not to go straight. Holding it here. And let it fall. So if you want to put the strap around your foot, we're going to bring the leg all the way up as straight as it can go now. Keeping the leg coming right into the chest. Keep pointing and flexing. And let it fall. Good. And let's circle the knee to the shoulder. And then from here again, swing the leg up, keeping the thigh as close to the chest as we can. And it's okay if the knee is not straight. And point and flex, and let it fall. Swing the leg up, point and flex, and let it fall. Beautiful. Put the strap on the foot, lengthen the leg as much as possible. Few point and flex, and let it fall. Circle the leg now to the opposite knee. Switch hand, hold the leg. It's okay if the hip lifts a little bit. Swing the leg up. It's okay if the knee stays straight. Point and flex. Don't forget to breathe. And let it fall. And swing. And point and flex. And let it fall. Put the strap on the foot. Take the leg nice and straight. Point and flex. And let it fall. And circle the leg back. Put both knees into the chest. Rocking a little bit. And rolling onto your side. And from here, you can keep the knees stacked again, or you can corkscrew your legs. You can have a block under your head, a pillow, and reach as far as you can and then dragging fingertips along all the way back. Keep looking at your fingertips. You may feel some sticky point. Hold on that sticky point. Little movement and circling back. And let's come back. Let's reach and circle. Keep that movement going. Keep it going. Keep it going. You may feel some sticky point now in a different position, holding and circle all the way back. And release. Take the time for a breath or two. And then let's bring ourselves up into a seated position. We're almost done. So we're going to end with the neck. So from here, we're going to bring our head to one side. Circle the head to the other side. One more time. Circle from the chin to the other side. Let's keep the circle going, but by using our chin as a guide. Trying to keep the back of the head nice and long. Let's switch direction. Don't forget to breathe. Keeping the back of the neck nice and long. And coming back up. Beautiful. Let's raise our shoulders. Let's bring our hands resting on our collarbones. Bringing the shoulders down, the elbows down. Feeling the weight of the hands on the collarbone. Bring the chin down a little bit. And then bringing the chin up. On the inhale, circle the chin back down. And again, raise the shoulders, giving it some slack. Dropping the elbows, putting some weight on the clavicle, lifting the chin. Keeping the back of the head, the back of the neck, nice and long, and circle back. One more time, give it some slack. And release. And lift the chin. And this time, we're going to move our jaw. So push the jaw forward and then pull it back. So forward and back. One more time. Forward and back. And circle back. Beautiful. One more time. Give it some slack. And pulling it down. Lifting the chin. And reach the chin forward. And back. Exhale. Chin forward. And back. And circle down. Release the hands and come on up. Good. So holding on to your knees and bring your head to one side. Bring it back up. Go to the other side. So notice which side is tighter. And that's the side that we're going to start. So here again, we're going to do the 2-2-1. So for me, it's this side. So I'm going to stay here. I'm going to give myself a little bit of a lean to feel a little bit more pull and dropping the chin and coming back up. And again, ear to shoulder, letting myself lean away. I'm going to use my arm to put a little bit more weight and circle forward and up. One more time. If we want to sit on our hand, we can do that. Circle down, releasing the arm, and then coming up. Other side, ear to shoulder. Lean away, dropping the chin, coming back to center, and stacking. Ear to shoulder, reach, and add the arm. Maybe a little bit of movement, drop the chin, circle forward, come back up one more time, lean to the side, maybe sitting on the hand, round, forward, releasing the hand, and come back up one more time on the other side. So lean away, sit on your hand if you need to, a little bit more weight. Chin down and up and again. Side, chin down, round forward, release, and come on up. So now I'm going to move to the back of the neck. So dropping the chin, letting ourselves round forward. And let's swing the head back. If you want a little bit more, hands behind the head, drop the chin, round forward. And maybe rocking a little bit forward and back. So by rocking forward and back, you're going to notice a little bit of a change in the stretch. Rocking a little bit forward and back. And a little bit of side to side. Releasing the hands and coming back up. Beautiful. And from here, let's just take the time to close our eyes. Take a few deep breaths. Noticing the rib cage expanding in all directions. Belly moves forward, up and down. Beautiful. Let's make our way onto our feet now. So let's reverse our movement. So come into table. Tuck the toes under and pushing yourself up. And bending the knees, coming up. Beautiful. So again, let's go back to the movement that we picked for our test movement. So I got a little bit more movement in that direction, a little bit more in that direction, which is good. And my squat's a little bit more comfortable. So whichever movement you picked, hopefully it was easier. So in any of the areas that we've done, it's okay to test it first and then do a 2-to-1 ratio. And here we only did the neck and the hips because that's usually where most of the problems are. So I hope you had a great weekend. And for all the mothers there, happy Mother's Day. And even though we can't get together, hopefully you'll be able to talk to your family. So hope you had a great weekend again. Namaste.